Hello, and welcome to Confidently Wrong, a show by regular dudes talking with confidence about content we have no right to speak about with any kind of authority, but do it anyway. I'm Wesley Nakamura, and today I'm joined by award-winning director Brian Redondo and Savon Jones, aka Captain Vonnie. This is episode 65, and today we share out what we're loving and give our thumbs up and thumbs down for this summer's blockbuster movies. I'm confident that it's going to be the best show you've ever listened to, and well, hey, if it's not, you can always ask us for a refund.
Incredible!
Welcome back, gentlemen. I'm super excited for this show. We get to do our old classic, What We're Loving.
What we're loving.
I don't know what that was. Is that how you love? Oh, okay. You did sort of like a high-pitched version of it, and I was like, "Is he swooning?
Is he okay? What's going on?"
All right. Well, we're back this week. Last week we got to talk quite extensively about the streaming services battles. We probably talked too long about it, but the friends out there, I'm sure they're going to enjoy us battling about ads versus no ads. In fact, after the show, me and Savon and Brian then went some more rounds around ads versus no ads. Guys, I think that's what we're going to call that show anyways. All right.
Wes is a corporate shill.
Oh, man.
You know, I would love if our show had ads.
Yeah, we're doing this for free, no ads. Like Disney and Hulu, they could do their shows for free, no ads for sure. All right. First segment, what we're loving. Second segment, we're going to go into some of the blockbusters that are coming because, ladies and gentlemen, the year has flown by and we're actually starting to get to the summer blockbuster season for movies. And with the pandemic and everything, we haven't really had a blockbuster season in 3 years now? So this is kind of exciting and disappointing all at the same time. Let's start us off. What we're loving. Savon, hit us up with our good New Orleans Pelicans, the Knops.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep it.
Shout out to BI, former Laker.
Are they actually called the Knops?
Hey, Wes, don't do that. This is what we're loving. This is what I'm loving. Do not, Brandon Ingram, his Laker career might as well never happen. He don't even rock with the Lakers.
Yeah, they did not know how to unlock his talent.
Yeah, so let's
That's
just.
not even true.
We're not doing this. What I'm loving is the New Orleans Pelicans, who we had a 3-16 start. Zion never played, and people were wondering if he even existed. Brandon Ingram was hurt. National media and pundits had ignorant, ill-informed takes about the team. People were saying they need to move us to Seattle, all kinds of things. And I think I can speak for the New Orleans Pelicans fan base when I say we feel vindicated. We had a rookie head coach, Willie Green. We had a bunch of rookie players, including Jose Alvarado.
Shout out to Willie Green. Really showed himself out this year as a rookie coach.
Facts. Herb Jones. Even for our people, I know some of y'all aren't basketball fans. That's fine. But we were written off. We looked awful. We had an awful record. And we were able to get ourselves together, make some good moves. Shout out to CJ McCollum. Shout out to the Blazers for being them. And
blowing it up.
Yeah, blowing it up. And we fought our way to the playoffs. We fought through the play-in tournament, knocked out multiple teams, and took 2 games off the number 1 seed in the West and in the league. I can't ask for much more. I'm excited about my team. It's fun to see my friends who are even basketball casuals get really excited. And it's nice to see sports bringing people together and us having a good old time. And the best part is that the Lakers, we get their pick and they didn't make the playoffs. And
so you get a lottery pick.
Yeah, and so it's good times in New Orleans right now. And
yeah, we didn't even make the play-in. So
yeah,
you guys pulled a reverse Lakers this year, basically.
Yeah, it is sensational. So yeah, I've been loving that. And even though we lost to the Phoenix Suns, if there's any team we're going to lose to, I'm okay with losing to Chris Paul. So,
I mean, Suns are number 1 team in the league. I really thought the Pellies were going to get swept.
They look so dangerous, though. Pels.
But they were. Exactly.
Mm-hmm,
I thought they might actually sneak out into a game 7, maybe even an upset win.
I thought so, maybe.
Because D Booker was hurt.
It was very possible. And so, I'm happy with that. And so, Wes, I know you grew up a Laker fan where y'all just had success forever, but for a lot of other teams, like getting to be good is not a thing that happens. And so I'm just enjoying the ride.
I mean, that's the way to approach it. But I will say this, and it's not apples to apples because New Orleans is smaller. No, there's no but here. New Orleans doesn't. There are times where New Orleans fans actually don't show up for the Pelicans.
We're a football city, bro.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and when I lived in New Orleans, I could get New Orleans tickets or Pelicans tickets for like $6.
Yeah,
and go and enjoy the game. But that speaks to like the city doesn't always support the Pelicans, and I wish they did more because the team needs it, right? Like the team can be good, but you know they kind of didn't have a reason. Whereas like I'm here in Austin right now, and like as bad as Austin FC was, the soccer team last year, they sold out every single game, and that's not something MLS does. No other teams really do that unless they're like the LA Galaxy. So shout out to Austin, but also New Orleans, like you got to get behind this team. Like the Pels are fun. Zion is awesome. Like that's a team.
And stop the finger wagging. Look, AD never embraced the city. We have a young core that's embraced the city. We have new management and leadership that's overhauled our general manager, our front office. You have to give the fans something. You have to give the fans something to cheer for.
That's true.
And in recent years, we had AD. He, like I said, he didn't embrace the city the way our younger stars and Brandon Ingram and CJ have. And that has given the fans something to cheer for. We're in the South. We live in the shadow of football. That's how it's always going to be, just culturally. The Saints are in a falling off transition period. This is the perfect storm for New Orleans to build that brand loyalty and really make the Pelicans be established as something. So again, not all of us are LA, bro.
Yeah, no, it's different.
It's a slow burn. It's a process, and we're going to get there. But
I think it's good for basketball.
Yeah.
It's good for basketball, but I'm sad that they made it into the playoffs because that means they're decent and Zion might consider staying there rather than going to the Knicks.
That's right.
They ruined my whole
your plan
here. Like, come on. That's in my 10-year plan. Jeez.
I mean, some of the most exciting basketball right now is being played by New Orleans, Memphis, and Minnesota. Very small market teams, and Phoenix is a small market. Not
small market teams, young talent.
Yeah, Milwaukee.
All the LA and New York teams suck.
We're terrible.
Yes.
Let's go.
So don't come at us anymore with small market bias.
No,
some of the most exciting basketball. No, I'm saying other fans. Some of this like wonderful basketball being played right now is being played in small markets, and it's great. I'm a fan, even though I love the Lakers. As a basketball fan, I love seeing like Ja play. I love seeing Brandon Ingram like just do all his like mid-range stuff. It's cool. Brian, actually, no, I'm gonna go. Brian, you got an actual what we're loving that's gonna be good. My what we're loving this week is a shout out to this. This is not a sponsored paid ad or anything. Subaru of Georgetown.
Subaru of Georgetown, however, if you do want to pay,
send us that check.
We cool with that.
We're good.
Hit us up.
My man Jacob over at Subaru, he hooked me up a couple months ago. We had some conversations around ordering a car. I don't know if you guys know anything about the used car market right now or the new car market right now. It is bonkers. Like inflation is not even the right word here. It is just
price
absurd. It is just don't buy a car right now, right? Like
greed.
It is, but it's also a shortage. And there's some aspect of this that a little bit is not greed in that what's happening right now for new cars, a lot of dealerships, and this is probably, I'd say it's like 75% of dealerships, maybe more, are charging what they're calling a quote unquote market adjustment. And if you took your high school supply and demand economics class, you will understand what happens here. Basically, there just aren't that many cars.
Economics in high school.
People want to buy a car, and there's just not enough. And so the demand is high, the supply is low. Dealerships are like, cool, we're gonna raise the price, and they add on anywhere between $1,000 to $3,000 to $5,000. Some places are adding on like 10 grand to their price of their cars. And in the past, we've always been able to like, negotiate the price down from the MSRP. That is no longer a reality at all, given the pandemic situation. And the only thing I will say is because there are fewer cars for the dealership to sell, and because they're selling fewer cars, they aren't making it as much money, but they still have to pay the same number of salespeople, the same amount of rent or whatever they have to pay on their actual like property. So they are having, it kind of makes sense to me why they charge a little more, but mostly you're right, it's greed. Anyways, I called them up. They are selling the car that I wanted. I wanted a WRX. They're selling it at MSRP. Not only that, when I went to buy the car finally, because it took a while to get delivered and all that, it takes, a couple months. They didn't hassle me about buying all the extended warranty BS. They didn't hassle me about buying paint protection. They didn't hassle me about trying to get me to buy wheel protection or an extra like alarm kit or whatever. It was the most like laid back experience in terms of buying a car. Like me and Jen had to have a conversation early in the week. She was like, it stresses me out thinking about going into the dealership, because when we bought her car a few years ago, that dealership like hard pressed us into getting like extra stuff that we didn't want. And they like tried to guilt trip us about like, they couldn't pay for like their kids' education now. Like if we weren't going to get this stuff and help them hit their bonus.
Can I curse?
You can curse. Like those dudes deserve
kids in that context. It's like what? Like what? You got yours. You got what kind of?
You got worse problems.
That sounds like
evil.
They're like, hey, bro, you gotta. That sounds like a you issue, player pimp.
Yeah, it was rough going to the last one. And she was like, that experience like really turned her off. She was like, I do not want to go to this dealership. And I was like, you sort of have to. We're co-signing this loan. You're going to have to be there. And she's like, okay. Completely different experience. It was just completely not that. And so buying a car from Subaru of Georgetown was what I was loving this week. And obviously I got the car. It's cool. I'm enjoying it. I've only had it for a day, so I can't really give you a good review on it other than it beeps at me when I get out of the lane, and that's kind of interesting.
That's all you have to say about the car? Like, this is all just about like the deal that you.
I mean, this is not a car show.
The people didn't try to sell me extra stuff. I'm loving that.
Well, I think it's crazy. We talked about psychological like perception of from last show. This is exactly that. They had a great experience because they let me pay MSRP for a car. Like, how messed up is that right now? That's all I'm saying.
I love how it's
just like your bar, player.
It's like a gangster shakedown, like paint protection, wheel protection.
It is.
But also, I have seen photos of said Subaru
WRX.
WRX. I have ridden in one as well, and
one that I was driving.
Speaking of gangsters, this is a gangster car. This is like Wesley.
I'm seeing the picture in the group chat. That thing was so I was like,
everyone's like, oh, check out. Oh, it's got a vent on the hood, and
it has a vent on the hood.
Wheel.
This thing, I have been in a car like this, and it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it goes like 0 to 60 in like a split second. It feels like a split second. It's. I mean, like it is like pushing your back.
You gotta be that fast.
And so what I'm saying is that Wes is signing up for his AZN gangster card. Like
this is my midlife crisis car, guys.
He's trying to live his best like 20-year-old self right now.
On too, you got that jacket on. You about to be.
I'm going.
You about to be in a Need for Speed movie.
Yeah, he just needs some like Japanese decals on the rear window or something.
Podcast in the Furious Tokyo Drift. I'm in it. All right. Well, that takes care of mine. I'm loving this car so far. We'll see. I mean, the jury's still out. I didn't get really to test drive this particular model because they weren't made yet. So I had to take it, sight unseen. So it's cool. It's got this big ass tablet though. Big old. It's got a big old tablet for the touchscreen navigation.
Big old tablet.
Yeah. you put that car Apple Play. Yo, my old car didn't have Bluetooth. I was still plugging in every single day. So this car, this is a step up.
You was in some real caveman type stuff right there. Oh Lord.
That's when you bring your portable speaker to the car.
you put your speaker in the cup holder.
All right, Brian, what you loving this week?
So I got to say, we spent a long time talking about our Crossing Streams tournament and the victor being HBO Max. And so I'm glad to report that, we are it's a testament to their victory that, they bring Prestige TV, and Prestige TV is finally back after the glut of, the pandemic halting all these shows from happening. So right now we have season 3 of Barry is back, which is one of the best shows on TV, maybe in the past 10 years.
I still need to check that out.
We like the last season was 3 years ago. It's crazy. Atlanta is back, not on HBO Max, but I'm just talking about best shows on TV are back, right? Like Atlanta's back. Mike talked about it. It's definitely a genius show. Better Call Saul, which may be one of the greatest shows ever. Yeah, I'm saying it. That is back for its final season. It's better than Breaking Bad, but just like extends the whole thing. It's just chef's kiss all around, right? But what's interesting is like not only are these prestige shows back in action for new seasons, but HBO Max, as we talked about in our last episode, keeps delivering. So in a way, I'm not even caught up on all my favorite shows that I think are the best because I have been sidetracked by another show that has come out on HBO Max called Tokyo Vice, which is not getting a lot of love out there. Because it is sort of, kind of like a show that is not going to attract too much attention. It's a crime noir series brought to us by Michael Mann, who is known for what is he known for? Collateral, and I think he made Heat. A lot of gritty crime movies. And so he's bringing us Tokyo Vice, which is really interesting. It takes place in the Tokyo underground, dealing with Yakuza, but through the lens of a gaijin reporter. Basically, a young dude from Missouri who's been out living in Tokyo as an expat, gets a job, his first ever job at the prestigious newspaper in Tokyo. He's the first ever non-Japanese person to work there. And so he starts working a crime beat and looking into all the criminal activity in Tokyo and trying to figure it out. So he's making friends with Yakuza. He's making friends with cops on the show. The main detective here is Ken Watanabe. And so they strike up a friendship. He's making friends with other expats, basically escorts, and there's one such woman in the show who also has her own intriguing background. So it's just like a really like cool in the cut, dealing with some of this criminal activity, but also the expat lifestyle, and being a fish out of water, and just trying to figure out what's going on. The show has gotten a lot of criticism for being kind of a white savior type of show, which might be somewhat valid, but I think the show actually does a nice balance of rounding out all the Japanese characters and calling out the gaijin for being a gaijin asshole, right? And so, we get to know the
this word gaijin. Can you tell us?
So that's sort of a pejorative for a foreigner. It's basically like them calling the dude a gringo, right? It's like who
Yankee.
Him? What is he doing here? Like, what does he think he's trying to get out of this? So he gets sunned a little bit throughout the show, right? Dude, they put him in his place, right?
By the way, that's a great. I love that verb to sun someone. It's
just
so just accurate.
But he's also a journalist, so he's trying to be dogged. So part of it is, like some of it you're okay with because he is trying to get a story. I think it's just like a fascinating look at underground Tokyo, and the acting is superb, and the visuals are on point. The kind of quality that we've come to expect from a service like HBO Max.
Yeah, it's not cheap looking. They clearly production values are consistently high.
Wait, so did they send us the check in the mail? Is that why we're being so nice on them here? What happened?
I don't know.
Hey man, just call it how you see it. You're
It's a solid crime show. Obviously, me saying Better Call Saul and Barry, like these are all crime shows. It's a genre I'm very much into, and Tokyo Vice is like a nice little addition to to my personal palette. So that is what I'm loving right now.
The people should check it out. Tokyo Vice, HBO Max. Send us our check, HBO Max, for promoting your shows. Next, we're going to talk about the blockbuster movies coming this summer. It's kind of like Block approaching, though, really, if you look at the lineup here. So the first one we're going to talk about, though, is Marvel came out with a couple of trailers. They came out with a new Doctor Strange trailer right before its release. We're about a week away as we're recording this. The next time we talk about the show will probably be about a week after. So we're really interested in that, but we're actually not going to talk about the latest trailer because Brian and Savon are both trying to avoid any more spoilers for the movie. They just want to go in knowing what they know. And I haven't seen the trailer, so we're gonna sidestep that one, and we'll talk about the actual movie whenever we all get a chance to check it out. We are going to talk about the Thor Love and Thunder trailer. People were worried actually that it was maybe going to get delayed because they had waited so long to put out a trailer for this, but it finally dropped about a week or so ago. After seeing the trailer, did anything catch your eye? Are you into it? Savon, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I saw some of the trailer. First of all, the set pieces, artwork, and just set designs and character designs look like they're going to be really fun.
It's got a clear vision. It's got a clear vision of what they wanted.
A good blend of that Guardians of the Galaxy, really, really huge, colorful, bright, saturated world, but then some of that old school armor as Guardian aesthetic they go for. I'm excited for it. I think the biggest thing is that I'm excited for this movie because Thor used to be my least favorite Avenger pretty hard. I thought he had the Superman problem of being too powerful and a paragon, and that's not interesting. And they've really rounded his character out in a way where he's a great blend of power, comedy, but all of his struggles are ultimately emotional and internal. And I'm really glad that they're leaning even more into that for his self-discovery journey. So I'm glad that hopefully it's not a conflict about, okay, Thor, can you hit the problem really hard and beat it, or do you need to learn and grow? I'm excited.
Brian?
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about the big reveal at the end of the teaser, which I'm excited for, but also just the fact that we get more Chris Pratt and Chris Helmsworth banter in this new movie.
They're really funny.
Thor and Star-Lord just like ribbing each other constantly and like vying to be who they perceive as like the top dog. I guess, I mean, we know Thor's the top dog, but Star-Lord thinking that he's in conversation of top dog. It's just like great shtick, and more 2 hours of that. I'm not even sure how much Guardians is part of this movie. I feel like the trailer kind of makes it seem like they're a big part, but I could easily see them just being 10 minutes or something.
Taxi service to drop them off somewhere.
No, I think it is, because you saw in the trailer, he kind of walks off when he sees them all fighting. I think to your point, the top dog analogy gets interesting because I think Thor's going to have a moment where he realizes, oh, I'm alone and the Guardians are family. They can do the whole top dog thing, but I think family and belonging is going to be a big theme.
Hence Love and Thunder. Yeah, I think you're probably right. That it's going to segue us into his story.
Okay,
I think
so
they said
if you
haven't
seen the trailer and you're trying to avoid seeing the trailer or hearing about it, this is where you actually skip forward a little bit, because we are going to talk about something that kind of came up in the trailer that wasn't necessarily very clearly announced or anything like that. It's a little bit of a spoiler, which is Jane Foster, Natalie Portman's character, is wearing the Thor armor. I don't necessarily buy Natalie Portman as an action star here, guys. This is going to be something I'm going to have to get over.
Portman.
I love Natalie Portman. She's amazing. But as an action star, she hasn't really shown her chops in that. And not that she couldn't do it. Maybe she'll surprise us here, but she's pretty dainty. She's pretty small. I'm having a hard time seeing her be, wielding the power of Mjolnir or the power of Thor. So we'll see. I think for me, I'm a little skeptical. Not to say they can't pull it off. I'm just a little bit skeptical here. Savon, can you tell us a little bit about Thor when Thor is a woman in the comics? I actually missed that whole storyline.
Wes, I mean, come on, man, dude.
She is kind of dainty.
She has the characters
totally
as guardian gods.
No. Natalie Portman, the actress.
Only Portman, big, strong, hulky women can be superheroes. Dude,
you're better than that. Anyway,
she does have to carry a big ass hammer. That's all I'm saying.
It's a magic hammer. And it's about the whole shtick is that it's not about being strong, it's about being worthy.
All right. Fair enough.
Ooh.
So tell us
Is she
about
worthy?
Thor when Thor is the woman character in the comics.
So really,
I don't actually know.
So it's not really. So there are some arcs where Loki becomes a woman, but I think the actual Thor being a woman, Thor isn't necessarily turned into a woman, but there's an arc where in the comics, Jane Foster, Natalie Portman's character, a human, at a certain point, I think she actually gets terminal breast cancer. And I forget the exact context of how she ends up getting it, but when she's in a dying terminal state, that kind of opens the door of events that leads to her getting the hammer and becoming Thor. And it's also a period when like Thor steps away because he has Stormbringer, all of that stuff. But again, when they adapt this stuff, they take like they change a lot in a really good way. So I'm really curious to see. Like it's not going to be how that was in the comic. Maybe they'll incorporate the cancer portion of it, but I don't know how they're going to write the story of her getting the hammer. And it was a destroyed one too. We saw in the trailer it was like cracked and destroyed. So I don't know where they're going to take this. I'm excited.
So in the comics, Thor was also Jane Foster. They haven't like changed up who's going to be Thor from the comics.
Yeah, no, like
okay.
Thor. Think of Thor more as a mantle. Like
yeah.
Thor
so, but Jane Foster took on the mantle of Thor in the comics as well. It wasn't a different character.
Yeah, it wasn't a different character. Jane Foster, the same character, the scientist who dates Donald Blake, all of them. Yeah, same
She's
thing.
Thor.
So,
okay.
Yeah, she becomes Thor.
Well, I'm honestly excited about that part though, because I think that opens up some interesting questions, right? Valkyrie is also, a leader here, and like maybe she could have taken on the mantle. Why is he giving up the mantle at all? Or maybe there's now two, right? Like I think seeing her in the movie, I was like, oh damn, I didn't expect them to go there in this show, given like what happened in Ragnarok. But I'm in. I loved Ragnarok. It's gonna be the same creative team. I think they're gonna do a great story. I hope it comes out in July. Are you guys pretty much excited for it?
It won't be boring.
Yeah, I mean Natalie Portman in that Thor helmet, like that was dope.
Yeah,
like that's what I'm loving right now. And really, Natalie Portman kind of walked away from the MCU, right? Like Jane Foster has barely had any role, right? They wrote her out. She thought she was done with Marvel, and so Taika Waititi brought her back. So that also is very interesting. Natalie Portman is the type of actress that has a lot of star power and can kind of
say no,
create her own lanes, right? So I think whatever Taika has done to the character of Jane Foster
should be worth it.
Have been good for Natalie Portman to come back.
I think that's a good point. So I doubly excited for that. Let's talk about some other movies that are releasing. We just said Doctor Strange is coming in about a week or so we don't have to necessarily talk about that because I think we'll unpack that a little more. The list of movies, though, after that, Savon, it's a little bit thin. What do we got coming this summer for blockbusters?
All right, yeah. So I looked up just some movies that have some trailers coming out, trailers that we all have seen. I'm just going to run through them super quick. We'll just kind of say, hot, not see, don't see.
All right.
Doctor Strange.
Coming. All right. I'm going to go see it.
Facts.
Maybe day one?
Or maybe try to.
Pre-day one? The Thursday night screening?
I have to take off, maybe. Top Gun Maverick.
I am in. I'm so in. God, I love the first one. I used to watch this on VHS over and over again. Top Gun is how I learned that I needed glasses. Like I grew up with this movie. Just an amazing, amazing, fun romp of a terrible movie, but really good. Also, it has a racing car counterpoint that's exactly the same story. You don't even need to like know about them. You could just watch them side by side. They're the same. It was called what was it called? Tropic Thunder? No, that's not right.
Days of Thunder.
I hope Tropic Thunder.
Same movie.
Maybe I should see Top Gun.
Days of Thunder. Same exact movie. It's just race cars this time.
I'm like, not really.
No?
Like, do we really need to be excavating the 80s and even the 90s for like these long overdue sequels? They're not even overdue. Like they were never due to be.
Yeah.
Like,
just necromancy.
No, I'm in it. I'm gonna go see it. I don't even care that it might be bad. I'm just gonna go see it. It's amazing. It looks cool. Lightyear, is that the next one?
Yeah, I don't know anything about Top Gun. That's kind of a generation experience. I'm not interested. Lightyear. Lightyear. I wasn't excited for it, and then I watched one of the feature like full extended trailers, and now I'm really excited for it.
You're like a giddy kid. I really like that.
Yeah, I just saw it and I was like, oh, this looks like this will be a really fun movie to watch. Wait, is Chris Evans playing Buzz Lightyear?
I think so.
I think he is.
My son cannot catch a break being trapped out of time, is what I'll tell you. Like, man, this dude just always just ends up getting sent 40, 50 years to the future. This man cannot catch a break.
Typecast. I would see it. I don't think I'm gonna go. I don't think I'm gonna go see it in theaters though. I think I'll wait for it to come out on DVD or rental or whatever.
It's a good date movie.
All right. What else is coming out?
All right. Next is, we talked about Thor: Love and Thunder, Jurassic Park Dominion. What y'all thinking?
Well, I haven't really seen any of the Chris Pratt Jurassic Park movies, though I hear they're somewhat decent. Yeah, they're decent. I think the one that makes this one different is that Sam Neill, right, from the original Jurassic Park, and I'm forgetting the other woman.
Is Laura Dern coming back?
Laura Dern. I think they're both in this movie, right?
They are. In the trailer, they are.
Is Goldblum coming back?
Oh, he's in every.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
Jurassic
in all
Park.
of them. Okay,
come on,
he's so.
He's a bag collector.
He is Jurassic Park.
He's a bag collector.
Yeah.
That bag ain't gonna collect itself. What?
I'm not interested in this one.
Yeah. I'm curious about the original cast, even disregarding what I just said about mining the 80s and 90s for sequels and reboots. But I mean, will I watch it? Probably not. But I'll read about it.
I mean, for what it's worth, the basic premise is that at this point in the timeline, dinosaurs are just back on Earth living around because they've escaped from all the estate stuff. But honestly, I saw the trailer and I'm like, is this movie this movie has become like a parody of itself, where now I heard a lot about something about saving the world, and I could have threw something at the screen. I was like, it's not that serious, bro. We don't need to escalate conflict like this into global to raise the stakes.
You're not wrong.
But I'd watch it for free at like a bar.
Yeah.
Not
at a bar.
With the sound off.
Yeah, I can't watch it at a bar.
I just want to watch the dinosaur scenes and a little bit of the stuff in between, and I could call it a day.
All right. So we're thumbs down on this one. Next one.
Next is Elvis. There's an Elvis movie coming out apparently.
All right.
Yeah, it had a really epic trailer.
Who's starring in it? I have not heard about this.
Quick Google search. It's it's sort of like a actor you probably haven't seen or heard of, playing Elvis, right? Okay. It's like a new face, but Tom Hanks is in it, and I think that's a key part of the film, is that Tom Hanks plays, I think it's Elvis's manager, and it's I think a lot of the movie deals with their relationship and how they built Elvis into an icon. And the movie is by Baz Luhrmann, who is known for Moulin Rouge, the Romeo and Juliet adaptation that had Leonardo DiCaprio in it.
Well, that was a long time ago.
Gatsby. He does like these musical movies. So with a lot of style and flourish. So
yeah,
this movie has. I mean, this is part of the reason why it's a summer release.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No. Nah. Not into it. Doesn't sound like it's up my alley.
Yeah, and I don't know. Whenever they do these things of like American musicians, especially like white American musicians from like that time period, I'm always just like, dude, I just feel like the story's so much stuff is gonna get whitewashed out that I just can't take it seriously.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's just like, that just at a certain point, I'm just like, I can't do this.
All right, I got 2 suggestions to make it better. Then we do a gender swap Elvis with Julia Louis-Dreyfus as Elvis, and just like being Julia Louis-Dreyfus but as Elvis. I think that would be good.
Oh, with the Elaine dance for sure, as her Elvis dance.
Do it for a James Brown movie, maybe. They just need to just edit Chadwick Boseman out of the one, or do a Julia Dreyfus thing and then re-release that, and they'll just, if we're just
or we put Eminem and then it's a social commentary on hip hop in the 90s. I think that would be
we can have Eminem play Tupac,
or 2000s. I guess early 2000s, right? Hip hop from Eminem. All right, and then is there one more big movie?
The last one is Nope by Jordan Peele. I haven't seen too much about this movie, but honestly, I'm just really falling in love with Jordan Peele's just entire writing and directing style. He has an amazing blend of new concepts and original ideas, but he still manages to intersect race in it in a way that is fun, but not heavy-handed, but doesn't feel like, trauma porn type stuff that I am generally averse to. So I'm really excited. I don't know what that is.
And like, even if you remove his social commentary from the movies, like as genre movies, they're just really good. Like he knows how to make genre. He knows how to make thrillers. He knows how to make you excited and scared. And he also knows how to make you laugh. And so Nope, I think is probably going to be, I'm guessing, going out on a limb here, probably going to be the biggest hit. Or not hit box office wise, but the most talked about movie of the summer. Especially if you see the trailer, it's like very confusing, or it's very mysterious and intriguing what's going on. It's like, is there an alien invasion or something? It's like curious. And it's got Daniel Kaluuya and it's got Steve Yeun in it. And so, great cast already. Yeah. My only hope is that Jordan Peele actually appears in the movie and does some acting, because those skits on YouTube, I could watch that for days, man.
Yeah,
that man is
can act. He can act. He just be chilling.
I have never seen the Jordan Peele movies. I've always been a little bit afraid about what Savon talks about, it being a little bit like traumatic, and they were
I liked them.
They were sort of advertised a little bit as like horror movies, like both of the previous ones, Get Out and it's called Us, right?
Yeah.
Us. Yeah. Us. They're definitely in the horror genre.
And I don't do well with horror movies, like in general, not Jordan Peele horror movies, but just horror movies in general. I don't know if it's me being just a wuss or whatever, but man, those things stick in my brain, and then I have nightmares. Like, it's just not a good situation for me.
So this is what I'll tell you, Wes, and I'll say this, like, I think I can actually speak to this well, because anyone, friends who know me know I hate horror movies. I tell people, I got tricked into seeing a horror movie once. I left to see a Tyler Perry movie alone because I wasn't about to be finessed into a horror movie.
That's awful. You like whoever did that to you, unfriend them.
Like 5 minutes into the movie, you just like walked out and like went to the
we were going
theater?
up to the thing to buy tickets in there, like, hey,
you didn't even walk in.
No, we were like buying tickets in there, bought tickets to the horror movie. I'm like, oh, I don't know how to see this, and I bought a ticket to Daddy's Little Girls instead.
That's really funny. You could have just left, but you said, no, I'm going to see a movie. I'm just going to see it by myself.
Yeah, we're teenagers at the mall.
But
anyways, all I have to say, as someone who, the movie is more psychological thriller, not really horror. And again, I hate horror. Okay. I watched Get Out and loved it.
You think I could get into it?
I mean, it's a good movie. Like, and it's all said and done. There's no like cheap scares. There's a few like creepy moments, but it's not just horror. And everything else about the movie is so well put together that it's worth. I said the exact same things you said. I'm so glad I saw Get Out.
Okay, all right. Is it like Parasite then in that kind of tone?
In tone, yes, but it leans more into the thriller aspect.
Okay,
I think.
All right. Well, those are the blockbuster movies. It kind of feels kind of light this summer. I know maybe we're still coming off the pandemic and stuff, but for the first summer back into theaters for real, this feels a little bit lacking. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, Thor, Jurassic Park, a Buzz Lightyear movie. The Buzz Lightyear movie might be banging. That's the real thing. There might be some sleeper hits.
Oh, that's box office.
You think it's gonna be box office?
Lightyear?
Yeah, I mean, but I don't think it's gonna do what we're used to in terms of box office, like a Harry Potter movie or a Marvel movie. I don't think it's gonna hit that.
I mean, plus Thor's coming out. Might be a decent list.
All right, friends. Well, if you're out there, let us know what movies are you into this summer, but also tell your friends about our show. It's a good show. You listen.
Confidently wrong the movie.
Coming to
summer 2023.
Only by Studio A24. All right, friends. That is it. Have a good one. Hopefully next time we come back, we'll be able to talk about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Savon is so hyped for this. I'm excited for it too now, just because Savon's into it.
Yeah, boy.
I hope we get Dark Savon on the next show.
What does that even mean?
Have a good one. Oh, and before I forget, after the theme song, there's going to be a few more minutes of a random conversation that we continued about our ads in our streaming services. If you're interested, check it out. Bye.
And we definitely got to have a conversation about a episode about ads and our ads.
Ads versus no ads.
That was funny.
That was super funny.
I can't believe you're just knocking HBO like Hulu like a whole tier just because it has available.
I am very anti-ads.
I'm anti-ads too, but you literally just have to pay $3 more and then you get no more ads.
And when I paid for Hulu, I paid the $3 more.
Okay.
Like,
did you hate Hulu at that point? You're like,
I still held it against them that I still was very conscious. I'm paying extra to not have ads.
Yeah, it's like a thing in your head, right?
That's
like,
so funny though, because you're paying less than Netflix for.
You feel like they're forcing you to get the second tier. Yeah,
it's not about the money, because when it comes to streaming services, at that point, when it comes to those $3-4, at that point, I'm splitting hairs. At that point, I could just not buy a bag of chips or ice cream in a month, and that balances out
for sure.
It's totally just the idea of I'm paying extra to not have ads put in my content. I'm very like 2K.
But you're paying extra for Netflix to have no ads in your content too. Like that's why you pay for the Netflix so you can have no ads.
Yeah, and I think for the average consumer, put it like this: for most things, for streaming services, I'm willing to pay a little extra. But for a lot of services, most people are going to pay for the base service. If your base service has ads built in, I hold that against you. Because most people are going to pay for the base service. That's going to be the one you expect most people to do because it's the most accessible. People aren't trying to spend extra money.
Why does the paid service have ads? Like that is incredibly frustrating.
It's a good point. But if you, and this is an interesting like psychological versus logical thing, right? Like if you had, if they had just like, if no one told you about the ad-free version or the ad paid version, whatever, right? And you just were like, okay, I'm signing up for the ad-free version. Look, it's $5 less than Netflix. I'm good, right? Like logically, those are the comparison points. It's the ad-free version of Hulu and the ad-free version of Netflix. But like psychologically, you're like, no, the fact that I know that there's an ad version of Hulu, now I'm comparing the ad version to Netflix. And then that makes a bunch of difference, even though it's cheaper.
Ads to me, and it comes to like business, it sounds silly, but ads to me, it legitimately has like a moral component to just how I choose to do business. You know, you value different things and how people do business. I hear you. Yeah. Like to me, like there's I have very strong feelings about how ads are meant to work psychologically. And so when I feel like ads are being unnecessarily or shoehorned into something where it's definitely not called for, you know, especially when it's people who I think can afford to not have ads, in my opinion, all of that goes into it. If you're broke and ads is how you like this streams, like I watch basketball streams online, they bombard me with ass tons of ads of nonsense and porn and spam. But
totally.
I know that that's not a bunch of rich corporations, so I'm not really tripping about it.
Oh, I hate those ads. No, fuck that.
Yeah, I hate it. I can't stand it. It's annoying. But I don't hold it actively against the people providing the service because I know if you can't, like these people are providing literally free NBA streams online. This is how they keep these things running. I won't hold that against you. I know you ain't rich. But if money and I know you're rich and you can afford to not have this and you choose to, then to me that's greedy and I hold that against you. I don't like greedy bad faith practices like that.
Is there a free version of Hulu where you just like yeah, that's totally ridiculous.
Didn't they use
so like like you watch ads and you're still paying for like
with you, and I'm 100%
like Spotify, also, right? Yeah. Like Spotify, you can
like
have
it's
free
like
Spotify, and the exchange is that you listen to the ads.
Yes,
but having to pay and then the exchange is you just get fewer ads. And if you pay more, you get no ads. Knowing that you're Disney and y'all are fucking balling rich.
I think you're right with the Disney thing, but I also think like it's not like running Hulu is free, and it's not like watching advertisements is going to pay for all of Hulu.
That's true.
You know, that's how TV works, though. You know,
but I think it doesn't work. I think TV people. Right?
Like it's evolved, right? But the thing is, like, we are accustomed to.
I mean, I'm not trying to defend Disney.
This handshake.
So
you watch ads. That's how you.
Yeah, you know. We're used to that.